Let us start chemistry. In chemistry, electrochemistry we'll see. In electrochemistry, we are going for conductometric titration. In the conductometric titrations, we are seeing weak acid versus weak base titration. Weak acid versus strong base titration we'll see. In weak acid versus strong base titration, we are going for the graph. Here in this one axis we will take lambda m. In one axis we will take lambda m. In another axis we will take volume of sodium hydroxide added. Volume of sodium hydroxide solution added we will take. Volume of sodium hydroxide solution added we will take. We will go for the graph. Okay. Now volume of sodium hydroxide solution added is 0 while lambda m is this much. So we are adding sodium hydroxide solution, we are getting lambda m values like this. We are adding sodium hydroxide solution, we are getting lambda m values like this. We are adding sodium hydroxide solution, we are getting lambda m values like this. Let us join all the points. Let us join all the points. Okay, we have joined all the points. We got the graph like this. Now we want equivalence point. In order to get equivalence point, let us extrapolate the graph. Let us extrapolate the graph. In order to get equivalence point, we are extrapolating the curve. We are extrapolating the curve. Where it is meeting, you see at this point. You see this point. Let us see this point. Let us see this point. Okay. So now at this point, you see at this point, before at this point, you see this point. You see that before this point, how the lambda m is there. After this point, how lambda m is there. You see. Before this point, lambda m like this increases, but the extent is low. After this point, lambda m increases, but extent is more. That's what we discussed, weak acid versus strong base titration. How lambda m is there means before and after equivalence point, lambda m increases. We said before equivalence point, lambda m increase will be low. After equivalence point, lambda m increase will be high. That's what we discussed. Now this point, this point you feel as what? This point you will think as what? This point. Now this point you will think as what? Which point it is? This point is called as what? What is the name of this point, you will say? What is the name of this point, you will say? Now here we are doing this titration. In this titration, we got this graph. In this graph, we got this point. This point is called what? This point is called what? What do you think about this point? And you see that before equivalence point, in this titration, weak acid versus strong base titration, before equivalence point and after equivalence point, you see. Before equivalence point, on adding sodium hydroxide solution, lambda m increases. After equivalence point also, on adding sodium hydroxide, lambda m increases. But in what way increases? In the sense before equivalence point, lambda m increases slowly. After equivalence point, lambda m increases steeply. Now is it there like this? You see, this point you take. Before this point, you see. Before this point, how lambda m increases, you see. After this point, you see how lambda m increases, you see. Therefore, this point is called what? What do you think about this point? What do you think about this point? You are saying that this point is called a equivalence point. Sir, once equivalence point is over, we are getting in the sense this experiment is over. This experiment is for what? In order to get equivalence point only. No, this experiment. So this conductometric titration, for what sake we have to do? In order to get equivalence point. That equivalence point we got. Sir, okay. We will go for a next titration. Next titration is what? In the sense weak acid versus weak base titration. Now we will go for a weak acid versus weak base titration. So weak acid versus weak base titration. Weak base titration. So one solution we will take in a flask, one solution we will take in a burette. Okay. Suppose let us take weak acid, acetic acid. Weak acid is acetic acid solution. We'll take this. We will take in a vessel. In a vessel, we are taking acetic acid solution. In this solution, we are taking a. In this solution, we are taking acetic acid solution. To this, we will dip conductivity cell. So we are dipping conductivity cell. Conductivity cell we dipped. In this conductivity cell, 2 platinum electrodes are there. Using this, we will get a molar conductivity cell. In the acetic acid solution, if you take a acetic acid solution is suppose acetic acid solution is 0.1 molar. Acetic acid solution 0.1 molar. Suppose 1 liter we are taking. If we take like this solution contains what are the things in the sense nearly zero point 0.1 mole of nearly 0.1 mole of undissociated acetic acid will be there. This solution contains nearly 0.1 mole of undissociated acetic acid will be there. Then 10 to the power of minus 3 moles of acetate ions will be there. 10 to the power of minus 3 moles of acetate ions. 10 to the power of minus 3 moles of what means H plus ions will be there. These ions are carrying current. From this we can get what we can get in the sense lambda m we can get lambda m. Sir, okay. Now you see that you have taken weak acid versus weak base titration. Weak acid is what means aqueous solution of acetic acid. This concentration is 0.1 molar. Suppose you are taking 1 liter. In this vessel you are taking. To this you have dipped a conductivity cell. Using this conductivity cell, what we will get at last in the sense molar conductivity we will get. Sorry. This solution is having what means this solution is having undissociated acetic acid molecules and ions. Ions what means acetate ions will be there and H plus ions will be there. Acetate ions and H plus ions will be there. H plus ions 10 power minus 3 moles nearly, acetate ions 10 power minus 3 moles, acetic acid nearly 0.1 mole is there. Okay. To this let us add a weak base. What is a weak base in the sense? Suppose we will take ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Suppose we will take ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Okay. So now we are taking ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is what means a weak base. So we will take ammonium hydroxide solution, that is a weak base. This ammonium hydroxide solution, how much we are taking means 0.1 molar. We will think ammonium hydroxide solution 0.1 molar. This let us add. This let us add into which one in the sense acetic acid solution. Add into acetic acid solution. Okay. So we are adding into what means acetic acid solution. Sorry. It is added into acetic acid solution. Okay. So what will happen means chemical reaction takes place. What is that chemical reaction in the sense acetic acid reacting with ammonium hydroxide. Acetic acid is reacting with ammonium hydroxide to give salt. What is the salt in the sense ammonium acetate? Ammonium acetate and water. Ammonium acetate you are getting and you are getting water you are getting. Sir. And water is obtained. Now, how much acetic acid you have taken initially in the sense 0.1 molar you have taken. You have taken 0.1 mole of acetic acid. How much ammonium hydroxide you are adding means some moles of ammonium hydroxide you are adding. Some moles of ammonium hydroxide you are adding. Therefore, what is produced in the sense ammonium acetate is produced. Ammonium acetate is produced. Now, ammonium acetate is a salt. Ammonium acetate is a salt. Ammonium acetate is what means salt. Therefore, it undergoes complete ionization. It is undergoing ionization to give what means acetate ions and ammonium ions. Ammonium acetate is a salt, therefore it is having higher value of alpha degree of dissociation, so it undergoes almost complete ionization. Acetic acid is a weak acid, anyhow it is also undergoing ionization. It is also undergoing ionization to give what means acetate ion and H plus ion. It is also undergoing ionization to give what in the sense acetate ion. It is giving acetate ion and H plus ion. It is giving acetate ion and H plus ion. Okay. Now you see that before adding ammonium hydroxide, solution is having what in the sense before adding ammonium hydroxide, this vessel contains only weak acid. That weak acid is undergoing partial ionization. Due to partial ionization, some amount of anions, some amount of cations are there. Some amount of cations acetate ions, some amount of anions acetate ions, some amount of cations, H plus ions are there. You are adding a ammonium hydroxide into this. You are adding a ammonium hydroxide into this acetic acid solution. What happens means chemical reaction takes place. Acetic acid reacts with ammonium hydroxide to give ammonium acetate and water. Ammonium acetate is a salt so that it undergoes almost complete ionization to give acetate ion and ammonium ion. Acetic acid, remaining acetic acid is weak acid. It undergoes partial ionization to give acetate ion and H plus ions. So resultant solution contains ions. Resultant solution contains ions. What are the ions in the sense? Salt contributed ions. This weak acid partial contribution of ions. So these ions are carrying current. These ions are carrying current. So resultant solution. In the resultant solution, these ions are there. These ions are contributing current carrying. So conductance we are getting, from that we are getting lambda m. So after adding ammonium hydroxide, resultant solution contains like these ions. They are contributing lambda m. They are contributing lambda m. Before adding ammonium hydroxide, the vessel contains only acetic acid. These ions are contributing conductance. These ions are showing lambda m. So before adding ammonium hydroxide, the solution is having lambda m. After adding ammonium hydroxide, the resultant solution is having lambda m. Now you see, before adding ammonium hydroxide, how the number of moles of ions are there. After adding ammonium hydroxide, resultant solution contains how the number of moles of ions are there, you see. Ions are carrying current. So how lambda m will be there initially and how lambda m will be there after adding ammonium hydroxide, you see. So whether lambda m increases or remains same, how it will be there, you see. Think it. So if it is different, if you say when lambda m will be different, that you see. So you are saying that one student says that lambda m increases due to addition of ammonium hydroxide, you are saying. So due to addition of ammonium hydroxide, lambda m increases, you are saying. Lambda m increases. Sir, okay. Now lambda m increases, we got a point. Therefore, if you go on add ammonium hydroxide solution, what happens means lambda m goes on increasing. If you go on add ammonium hydroxide, lambda m goes on increasing. Okay, we are reaching equivalence point. After reaching equivalence point, how it will be there, we have to see. Sir, so how the lambda m is there, we got an idea. So we are getting an idea that lambda m goes on increasing. Lambda m goes on increasing. Lambda m goes on increasing on adding ammonium hydroxide solution. On adding ammonium hydroxide solution continuously, on adding ammonium hydroxide solution till the equivalence point. Sir, now equivalence point is reached. Now we are coming to the idea that we have reached equivalence point. After reaching equivalence point, after the equivalence point, on adding ammonium hydroxide solution, how lambda m will be there, that we have to see. After the equivalence point, on adding ammonium hydroxide solution, how the lambda m value will be there, that we have to see. So now we reached the equivalence point, After the equivalence point, what we are adding in the sense ammonium hydroxide we are adding. Okay. This we are adding ammonium hydroxide solution. Ammonium hydroxide solution we are adding. This ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Ammonium hydroxide is weak base in the sense it undergoes partial ionization. Sorry. This ammonium hydroxide, let us think that 0.1 molar. Ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. It is having Kb value, base dissociation constant. Base dissociation constant how much in the sense 1.8 into 10 power minus 5, as like weak acid, acetic acid. Acetic acid and ammonium hydroxide are having same equilibrium constants. So Ka and Kb are same for acetic acid and ammonium hydroxide. So okay. Therefore, this solution, if you see the solution, ammonium hydroxide solution, and the ammonium hydroxide solution at equilibrium, what will be there means undissociated ammonium hydroxide will be there. Undissociated ammonium hydroxide will be there, and dissociated ions will be there. Dissociated ions in the sense ammonium ions Ammonium ions will be there, and hydroxide ions will be there. Ammonium ions and hydroxide ions will be there. Okay. Ammonium ions and hydroxide ions are present. So, how much ammonium hydroxide in the sense nearly 0.1 mole if you take 1 liter. How much ammonium ions, how much means it is 10 to the power of 10 to the power of minus 3, 10 to the power of minus 3 moles. It is also how much means 10 to the power of minus 3 moles like this present. 10 to the power of minus 3 moles like this present. For understanding, we have considered ammonium hydroxide as 1 liter. Sir, okay. Now, you are after reaching equivalence point, you are going on adding ammonium hydroxide. That means volume of ammonium hydroxide solution goes on increasing. But the concentration of ammonium hydroxide remains same, nearly remains same. Why it nearly remains same means you are adding ammonium hydroxide solution only, you are adding 0.1 molar ammonium hydroxide solution, you are adding into resultant solution. You are not adding any water. You are not adding any water. But before equivalence point, that solution will be there. No. Due to that, some change will be there. That change we will take as negligible. So after reaching equivalence point on adding ammonium hydroxide solution continuously, how the number of moles of ions will be there, that we have to see. How the number of moles of ions will be there, that we have to see. So we will take equivalence point. We will take equivalence point. At equivalence point, the resultant solution contains what means only ammonium acetate. Only what is there means ammonium acetate will be there. Ammonium acetate will be there. This ammonium acetate is a salt, therefore it undergoes complete ionization. Almost, therefore it gives acetate ions and ammonium ions. Ammonium ions. Now after equivalence point. Now we reached equivalence point. After equivalence point. How the after equivalence point? On continuous addition of continuous addition of ammonium hydroxide, on continuous addition of ammonium hydroxide solution, how the contents will be there, that we will see. On continuous addition of ammonium hydroxide solution. Sir, now we have reached the equivalence point. We reached the equivalence point. After equivalence point, we are adding ammonium hydroxide continuously. The solution contains what? The resultant solution contains what? That we will see. The resultant solution contains one is ammonium acetate. Ammonium acetate. This ammonium acetate is having ions. Ammonium acetate ions are like this. And the solution contains what means ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is undergoing partial ionization. Therefore, undissociated ammonium hydroxide will be there. And due to partial ionization, ammonium ions and hydroxide ions will be there. Now, on continuous addition of ammonium hydroxide, on continuous addition of ammonium hydroxide, what will happen to the number of these ions? These moles, what will happen to these moles? And what will happen to these moles due to ammonium acetate? And what will happen to these moles? And what will happen to these moles, do you think? We reached equivalence point. Equivalence point reached means reaction is over. Reaction is over means hereafter ammonium acetate will not be formed. Okay. Hereafter ammonium acetate will not be formed in the sense, this number of moles will remain constant. Once equivalence point is reached means reaction is over. Reaction is over in the sense hereafter no more ammonium acetate. No more ammonium acetate in the sense, this number of moles will remain constant. This number of moles will remain constant. Sir, okay. Though equivalence point we reached, we are adding ammonium hydroxide continuously from the burette. From the burette, we are adding ammonium hydroxide solution continuously. Ammonium hydroxide coming to resultant solution. So, number of moles of ammonium hydroxide goes on increasing. Ammonium hydroxide undergoing partial ionization, therefore we are getting ammonium ions and hydroxide ions. This ammonium hydroxide concentration, if you see, nearly same. Why nearly same? In the sense we are not adding any water. We are adding ammonium hydroxide from the burette. In the burette, ammonium hydroxide solution is constant, that is 0.1 molar. You are adding into the vessel. In the vessel, already equivalence point solution will be there. Due to that, concentration of ammonium hydroxide changes, but that change is negligible. But change is negligible. 1 minute, one student says that ammonium acetate is lesser. That means lambda m you are saying, or what? Ammonium acetate is less in the sense, in what way you are saying ammonium acetate is less? Once the equivalence point is reached, means the after equivalence point there will not be any production of ammonium acetate. No, there will not be any production of ammonium acetate, means number of moles of ammonium acetate will remain constant only. No, number of moles of lambda is changing, you are saying. Sir, okay, that you leave it. Number of moles we will talk. Number of moles of ammonium acetate remains constant. That point we said. Number of moles of acetate ions remains constant. That point we said. Now, ammonium hydroxide, will see. You are continuously adding ammonium hydroxide. So, concentration of ammonium hydroxide will not vary much. Concentration of ammonium hydroxide will not vary much. Therefore, we can say this hydroxide number of moles also almost remains constant. Almost remains constant, that we can say. Hydroxide number of moles also almost remains constant. This point we let us discuss again. We reached equivalence point. At equivalence point, resultant solution is having certain volume. In the resultant solution, what is there means ammonium acetate is there and water is there. After attaining equivalence point, we are adding ammonium hydroxide from the burette. In the burette, ammonium hydroxide solution is suppose 0.1 molar. You are continuously adding ammonium hydroxide solution into the resultant solution after equivalence point. Now, concentration of ammonium hydroxide changes because the resultant solution is having some solution, that is having some volume. So changes, but not much. Therefore, then from burette you are adding ammonium hydroxide solution continuously. How the concentration of ammonium hydroxide will be there in the vessel, in the sense in the conductivity cell we dipped in that vessel. How the ammonium hydroxide concentration will be there means almost same. Change is negligible. Change is negligible. Why change is negligible? In the sense in what way we will add ammonium hydroxide solution from burette? Drop by drop we will add. In the resultant solution, in the vessel resultant solution, how much will be there? 20 ml you will take. Initially in the vessel, 20 ml of solution you will take in order to keep conductivity cell. Like this only we will take? No, we will do no. So change in concentration of ammonium hydroxide will be almost negligible. Changes, but negligible we are taking. Sorry, negligible. So concentration is almost constant. Therefore, that extent of ionization also almost constant. So number of moles of hydroxide almost remains constant. So once equivalence point is reached, means after attaining equivalence point, whatever the addition of ammonium hydroxide, how the total number of moles of ions will be there? How the total number of moles of ions will be there? That you say. Now see, equivalence point, after attaining equivalence point, though you are adding ammonium hydroxide continuously, how the total number of moles of ions are there means almost constant. Therefore, how the molar conductivity will be there? How the molar conductivity will be there? How the molar conductivity will be there after equivalence point on further adding ammonium hydroxide? Equivalence point almost remains same. That means lambda m almost remains same. Lambda m remains constant. Sir. Now we will go for the graph. We will go. Now we will go for the graph. We are going for the graph. Now we will take in one axis we will take lambda m. Lambda m will take in one axis we will take volume of ammonium hydroxide solution added. Volume of ammonium hydroxide solution added we have taken. Now we will draw the graph. We are drawing the graph. When ammonium hydroxide added is 0, acetic acid is having some lambda m. Ammonium hydroxide, this much we are adding, lambda m increases due to formation of salt, ammonium acetate that undergoes complete ionization. Ammonium hydroxide we are adding, lambda m increases. Ammonium hydroxide we are adding, lambda m increases. Ammonium hydroxide we are adding, lambda m increases. Ammonium hydroxide we are adding, lambda m shows like this. Ammonium hydroxide we are adding, lambda m shows like this. Ammonium hydroxide we are adding, lambda m shows like this. Let us join the points in order to get a graph. Let us join the points. So we are joining the points. So we have joined the points. Okay. So we are joining the points. We are getting the graph like this. Sorry. We got the graph like this. Let us extrapolate the graph. Let us extrapolate in order to get equivalence point. Let us extrapolate. Let us extrapolate. So we extrapolated. On extrapolating, we got a joining point. We got that joining point is this. Joining point is this. What do you think about this joining point? What do you think about this joining point? This point is called what? The marked point. This point is called which point shall we say? This point is called which point shall we say? Now see that here initially lambda m is some value. Initially lambda m is some value. On adding ammonium hydroxide continuously, lambda m increases. Lambda m increases. It is going on increasing. Then after certain time onwards, it remains constant. It remains almost constant. It remains almost constant. Why? Because once equivalence point is reached, means the resultant solution will have only ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is a weak base, so it will undergo partial ionization. So change in number of moles of ions is negligible. So number of moles of ions remains almost same, And you may be asking that though it is weak base, it will undergo some extent of ionization. Therefore, number of moles of ions will increase. No, in that way you will ask. But of course, extent is less. Of course, extent will be less. Anyhow, it is increasing or not. In that manner also, you may be having idea. Sorry. That extent is of course less. Anyhow, number of moles of ions increases. Therefore, lambda m should have some variable. In that manner also, you may be having idea. So that you are not saying answer for this point. For this point, you are not saying answer. You may be having such a type of thought also. Sorry, okay. We will consider even that idea also. We will consider. So what you are saying in the sense after equivalence point. After equivalence point, we are continuously adding ammonium hydroxide. We are continuously adding ammonium hydroxide. Sir. Therefore, number of moles of ions increases. But the extent of increase is low. Sir. So when number of moles of ions increases, how lambda m remains constant? In that manner, you may be having idea. Now see the volume of resultant solution. Volume of resultant solution increases only now. So what happens to the concentration? You see, concentration, that is molarity. Molarity means number of moles by volume. We are saying it is increasing, it is also increasing. Then why don't we say molarity remains constant? Experiment says that experimentally we are getting like this graph. Experimentally we are getting like this graph. Now see, we reached the equivalence point. After reaching equivalence point, we are adding ammonium hydroxide continuously. Okay. Of course, ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Anyhow, number of moles of ions will increase, no doubt. But extent of increase will be low because it is weak. Now see, volume of resultant solution also increases because you are adding from burette, drop by drop you are adding. So volume of resultant solution also increases. Now molarity we will see. Molarity means number of moles by volume. Substitute this number of moles here. Substitute this volume here. Why don't we say molarity almost remains constant? From this, why we have to say like this, in the sense, from experiment we have to come for theory. Experiment says like this graph. Experiment gives like this graph. This indicates that molarity remains constant. So now we can say this point. Before this point, how lambda m is there? After this equivalence, after this point, how lambda m is there? You see. Before this point, how lambda m is there? After this point, how lambda m is there? You see. So before this point, on adding ammonium hydroxide, lambda m increases due to formation of salt. Salt is strong electrolyte. After this point, after this point, the graph remains constant. So this point will be what point do you say? This point will be what point do you feel? That point is called a equivalence point. So you are saying that this point is called a equivalence point. So equivalence point we got in the sense, for to get to equivalence point only we have gone for this experiment. Sorry. So this experiment main aim is what? Getting equivalence point. So we got equivalence point. Okay, let us go for next titration. Next titration is called precipitation titration. Next titration we are taking, that is called precipitation titration. Precipitation titration. Sorry. What is called precipitation titration means, in this titration we are getting a precipitate, therefore it is called precipitation titration. Precipitation titration we are saying. Sir, this precipitation titration, we will take an example when we will get a precipitate. You are in the lab you have done salt analysis. In the salt analysis, suppose we are taking chloride salt. Suppose we are taking lead salt. Lead salt we are taking. You are taking a test tube, you are taking a lead salt, you are taking, suppose what is a lead salt given in the sense lead nitrate. Lead nitrate salt is given. In this lead nitrate salt, in the salt analysis, first part what you will do in the sense, you will do commonly, you will do salt analysis. Generally you will do. Generally in the sense cation as well as anion. Second part you will do dilute sulfuric acid test, in the second part you will do it that acid test you will do. In the acid test you will come to an idea that the salt contains which anion. Anion is which one you will come to know. Then you will do, after coming to know that which anion present in the salt, you will go for confirmatory test for anion. Next you will go for group separation of cations. In the group separation of cations, first group you will do it. First group reagent is what means dilute HCl. If you add dilute HCl, if you get precipitate, that indicates group 1 cation is present. If you do not get precipitate, you will go for group 2. Group 2 reagent is passing H2S gas. If you are passing H2S gas, if you get a precipitate, you will come to an idea that group 2 cation is present. If precipitate is not there, you will come to an idea that group 2 cation is not there. Therefore, we have to go for group 3. Like this, you will go group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6. Like this, you will do it. So, in the group separation of cations, it is based on precipitate. It is based on precipitate. So, first you will add group 1 reagent. If you get a precipitate, you will come to an idea that group 1 cation is present. Suppose given salt is lead nitrate. Lead nitrate is colorless salt. To this, if you add water, this salt undergoes complete dissolution. Lead nitrate dissolves completely. Which nitrate dissolves completely means all the metal nitrates are dissolving completely. All the metal nitrates are soluble salts. All the metal nitrates, whatever the metal nitrate you take, it will dissolve completely in the water. That means soluble salt. Which salt is called soluble salt? If the solubility is greater than 0.1 molar, if the solubility is greater than 0.1 molar, that salt is called soluble salts. If the solubility is less than 0.01 molar, that salt is called insoluble salts. If the solubility is in between these two, those salts are called sparingly soluble salts. Sir, if solubility is greater than 0.1 molar, then that salt is called soluble salts. If solubility is less than 0.01 molar, that salt is called insoluble salts. If solubility is in between these two, then that salt is called sparingly soluble salts. Now, nitrate salts, metal nitrates coming under soluble salts. Lead nitrate coming under soluble salt, so this dissolves completely. Sir. Now lead nitrate, to this if you add water, it dissolving completely to give aqueous solution. In the aqueous solution, what is there means lead ion is present and the nitrate ion is present. Nitrate ion is present. If you dissolve lead nitrate in water, you will get a solution, clear solution you will get, clear and colorless solution you will get. That solution contains Pb2 plus aqueous and a nitrate NO3 minus aqueous. Now let us take this solution to group analysis, group separation of cations. Let us do first group. First group reagent is what means dilute HCl solution. On adding dilute HCl solution in the test tube, you will get what is the result you will get, we will see. In the test tube, how it will be there means, you leave the test tube for some time. What will be there means, here white precipitate will be there. Here white precipitate will be there, and above the white precipitate some solution will be there. Above the white precipitate some solution will be there. Above the white precipitate some solution is there. It is a group separate. It is a group analysis for a lead ion. Lead ion comes under first group. Lead ion coming under first group. Therefore, first group reagent, if you add lead, will give precipitate. What is that precipitate means? White precipitate you are getting. Above the white precipitate, what is there means solution is there. Now this white precipitate is what means PbCl2. This white precipitate is what means PbCl2. Sir, above this white precipitate, what is there? Above this white precipitate, what is there means solution is there. In this solution, what is there means Pb2 plus aqueous will be there, and Cl minus aqueous will be there. Cl minus aqueous will be there, and water molecules will be there, and HCl, remaining HCl molecules will be there. Remaining HCl molecules and nitrate ions will be there. Nitrate ions. So solution contains these. Sorry. Now in this precipitate PbCl2 is there, no. Solution contains Pb2 plus and Cl minus. When the solution contains Pb2 plus and Cl minus, why these are not precipitating, you may be asking. Why these ions are not precipitating? That means whatever the substance that will dissolve to what extent? Till getting saturation. So here precipitate is there, here solution contains these ions means, now we can say this solution is what solution? In the sense saturated solution. It is what means saturated solution, we can say. Saturated solution of what means PbCl2. Saturated solution of what means PbCl2. Saturated solution means, how do we say saturated solution means? That solution is having equilibrium. That solution is having equilibrium. Equilibrium between what? Equilibrium between what means PbCl2 solid, that means white precipitate, and PbCl2 aqueous. PbCl2 aqueous. Like this equilibrium will be there. So equilibrium between what? The equilibrium between white precipitate and dissolved substance. Between dissolved substance and white precipitate, equilibrium will be there. Then this dissolved substance undergoes ionization. Ionization to give what means Pb2 plus aqueous and 2Cl minus aqueous. Like this equilibrium is possible. So in the saturated solution means equilibrium is possible. Such a type of equilibrium is possible. So in saturated solution, PbCl2 solid that means undissolved PbCl2 will be in equilibrium with dissolved